above board.
Let me bring you in very quickly, Mr. Mutaya. Two quick questions. Would you accept the comment made just now by Atul Vasant that this whole thing smacks of haste?
Pardon me, I'm not able to hear you.
Mr. Mutaya, can you hear me?
Yeah, better now, yeah.
Mr. Mutaya, would you accept the comment made a moment ago by Atul Vasant that this whole thing smacks of haste?
Yeah, I think the whole thing has been done in a hurry. Why this haste when you are taking such a long time to take action on Mr. Srinivas? You have not yet taken any action on Srini. And he also has a team. He is a franchise. He has not disclosed his interest. He is still saying that he is distanced himself. And how can he sit in judgment? And what is this? There is no governance.
What about
you are one day changing the rules to suit some personal interests, and another day you are accusing Modi on something else.
I understand. Let me broaden the discussion a little bit. Do you think that in fact the governing body itself should have accepted a greater degree of responsibility? After all, in that interview that I mentioned, Tiger Pataudi said to me very clearly that the governing body needs to introspect, that it needs to think deeply about its failure in handling the IPL. He clearly said that the governing body had failed and needed to introspect, but there's no sign of that emerging today. So do you think, Mr. Mutaya, the governing body hasn't been as upfront and honest as it should have been?
Absolutely. They have not been honest. I agree with Tiger. They should have owned the responsibility, whatever it is, and instead of just pointing a finger at one person. I'm sure all this would have been discussed at the governing body meeting, and they're all responsible for it.
In which case, Ayaz Memon, you said that you believe that Lalit Modi is likely to go to court, or you said he's going to use public platforms, presumably the press. Do you think that far from this situation dying down, the stink, if I can so call it, is going to get worse?
It could get worse. It depends on what kind of a strategy Lalit employs from here. Look, the board has closed ranks, and they've just kind of put up a mighty front now against him, and it's not easy beating the establishment or the organization. We all know that actually the governing council didn't govern, because for the kind of misdemeanors, for the allegations and whatever else that have been made, this governing council has industrialists, it has lawyers, it has former cricketers, it has got a chartered accountant, it's got politicians, and all the allegations against Lalit Modi could have been addressed by one set of people or the other, had they been more diligent. It's not about complicity, I think it's about neglect. And anybody who can get away for 3 years with all of this, then the council which governs him should have seriously, Tiger Pataudi, as he said, there's need to seriously introspect.
Let's broaden this discussion a step further, Abbas Ali Beg. What about the revelations made public by Shashank Manohar at his press conference? He's revealed, for instance, worrying details about the manner in which the Rajasthan Royals franchise was put together. For instance, a company bid, but the contract was signed by a completely different company. That company's shareholders then changed into other people without the IPL being informed or any of the formalities taking place. And then beyond that, he's also revealed that most of the documents that the BCCI or the IPL should have are actually missing, and that they need to actually get hold of the documents, both to make them available to the income tax and also to find out themselves. That's a very worrying situation that emerges, wouldn't you agree?
I agree entirely. I think that this is what went wrong. I think, again, we come back to the same proposition that there has been a lack of understanding of what the position of the IPL was vis-a-vis the BCCI and who was responsible for what action. And if Lalit Modi was completely autocratic and flashy and all of that, why wasn't he restrained much earlier? Before such a situation would have arisen. I think I was very impressed with the manner the president conducted the press meeting today. He was, he pointed out all the issues that was there, and he assured the press that all the doubts that they might have had, he was going to clarify them. And I think it was needed. And I don't think this was done in a haste. I also got the impression that he hinted that they've been aware of what they're going to do for about a month, and this was precipitated only in the last couple of days or so. So they were all ready, and they were all aware of what the issues were, and they sprang it today, having waited for the IPL 3 to get over, which I thought was a very good idea. I must say I was very impressed with the President, and I think the situation now is that we've got to sort this thing out as quickly as possible before Mr. Sharad Pawar goes as the ICC President, which would, we've got to make sure that our image is cleared up before that happens.
Atul Vasan, there's a hint of paradox over here, isn't there? Today, Mr. Shashank Manohar sounds as if he's on the ball, in control of the manner in which he's presenting the details and facts. In fact, Abbas Ali Beg was impressed. And yet, the BCCI and the IPL governing body have allowed this situation to develop for 3 years. Clearly, a situation where they don't have documents hasn't happened overnight. A situation where there are serious questions about the nature of the RR franchise stakeholders hasn't happened overnight. Do you think that there's a case for saying that the BCCI and the IPL were asleep for 3 years, even if they've miraculously woken up now?
Well, first of all, Karan, I think as a cricketer and as a layman would think, I think BCCI and the IPL Governing Council is one of the same per se, you know. And secondly, I think when something grows so big, so fast, and becomes so popular, I think there are some norms which are not followed. It could be any business or anything, you know. So I think that happened. At the time, they did not have the time to look back and put things in the right manner, ethically and everything. So I think it just moved on too fast, and certain things were brushed under the carpet. Now, slowly, everything is exploded in the face. So now there has to be a cleanup. I don't care what happened so far and all that. All the figures are out. Eventually, all the agencies are there. They will find out, and everybody knows what they have done. Just, you know, when there is a divorce, the kids are the ones who get mentally harassed, and those are the cricketers and the cricket per se. I know for sure some owners are very wary that this is the man who has taken it so big, and because of him, because of his vision, it is there. Now they are just worried that if it goes back to the BCCI and the old regime, will it survive, and will it be the same product, you know?
Let me stop you there. That's the critical question I want to raise in a moment's time after the break. What then is the next step the BCCI must take? Is there a case for overhauling the whole of the BCCI? Not just Lalit Modi, not just the IPL governing body, but the BCCI itself. And if that overhaul happens, how do you ensure that the IPL remains protected? Those are the two critical issues after the break.